All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Rooney, President and CEO of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you to this event, Ready for Kickoff. Prepare your business for FIFA World Cup. We've got about 600 people joining us today, many in this room, but over 500 that are joining us virtually. So welcome to our virtual audience as well. So to me, it makes it clear that entrepreneurs, businesses of all sizes throughout our state are fired up and ready to welcome the world to Boston. In our audience today, both in person and virtual attendees, we have businesses representing just about every industry that you can think of here in Massachusetts, including transportation, sports and entertainment, some folks from state and local government, the pharma industry, hotels, event production, financial services, real estate, professional services, and more. So everyone has decided to come today and learn more about what's going on with our World Cup. So I want to thank you for being here for today and for all that you do year-round to strengthen Boston, Greater Boston, and the Massachusetts economy. In just 70 days, we'll begin hosting 7 World Cup matches that will bring more than 2 million people to the Commonwealth. Think about that for a minute, huh? 2 million people watching 7 World Cup matches and experiencing everything we have to offer, not just here in Boston, but throughout the state of Massachusetts. So it's not only a major sporting event, it's a legacy building moment for our city, for our region, for our state, and for our business community. The World Cup is bringing unprecedented, and I really mean that. And if you can tell, I've been talking for a while now as a local Boston guy. Unprecedented global attention, economic activity, and opportunity to the region. So one of the questions for the day is, how do we leverage that opportunity? How do we go to work and say, you know what, let's seize this moment? At the Chamber, we convene the region's leading voices in business and government, and today is no different. Our event today, co-hosted with FIFA Boston 26, is designed to show our businesses of all sizes how they can indeed seize the opportunity of these events. Today's featured speakers will share insights and best practices for large events that will help your businesses, workers, and customers thrive during the World Cup and after the games. Did I do something that it wouldn't be beyond me to do something that's figure that. As we prepare to hear our speakers, I want to highlight something that I learned from my friends at Bank of America, who are a global World Cup sponsor and a sponsor of many national and international sporting events. We see Bank of America sponsoring marathons. We see golf tournaments. We see their brand all over the place. But one of the things they do is they survey their customers and their clients, and they ask them about seizing the opportunity. What do you do? What do you do when a major event comes to your city, to your town, to your state, to seize the opportunity? And they just released that survey that said that 58% of the business owners who bank with Bank of America modify their operations during major sports events and concerts by offering targeted promotions and discounts, posting to social media and websites to increase traffic for the audiences that are going to come to the region, implementing theme marketing campaigns, things that are focused on what the event's all about, and exploring partnership and sponsorship opportunities. Not maybe the big sponsorships, but maybe something going on in a smaller town or section of the state, if there's a watch party or something like that going on. And then they asked them, well, did it work? Did you get any benefits from it? 51% of the businesses reported after they executed on those tactics, they actually saw an increase in sales and business opportunities. So there's things that you can do, and we're going to hear a little bit about that today. So it's your time to consider how your business operations and partnerships can help your business reach new heights in this moment. We're recording this event, and it will be available on the Chamber's YouTube page. So I want to get into the program. I'm going to introduce the speakers that we're going to have today and give you a little bit of run of the show here. So first, the speakers. I'm really pleased that we have Ron O'Hanley, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of State Street, previous board chair of the Chamber, my boss, and chair of the FIFA World Cup Boston 2026 honorary board. If you think of State Street, a global company over the years, despite the global presence that they have, they know where they came from. Ron and State Street continue to invest in Boston and Massachusetts, ensuring that our workers, communities, and businesses are successful. So it was no surprise to me that Ron stepped up to chair the host committee. So Ron, thank you for being here today. Yep, please. Next, we have Tanisha Sullivan, Head of External Engagement and Health Equity Strategy at Sanofi, and member of the FIFA World Cup Boston 26 Honorary Board. Tanisha leads the company's national health equity agenda and oversees executive engagement and government relations across Massachusetts. During her 30-year career, Tanisha has continued to advance equity and expand opportunity across communities and industries and systems. And as you'll hear during our conversation, Tanisha's got a little bit of experience leveraging big events. So thank you for being here today, Tanisha. And finally, I want to introduce Mike Lloyd, president of FIFA World Cup Boston 2026, who's leading the strategic planning and delivery of the FIFA World Cup in Boston. Geez, quite a job, Mike. You've got your work cut out for you. But Mike comes with a resume that tells you why he's doing what he's doing. He spent more than 40 years leading complex, high-profile projects around the world, including multiple Olympic Games. His previous roles including serving as Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for Craft Sports and Entertainment and Managing Partner of the Broadstone Group. Earlier in his career, not too long ago, Mike helped lead the planning for the London 2012 Olympics and was a founding partner in several event and security companies supporting Olympic Games in Sydney and Beijing. And thank you, Mike, for being here today. So let me just tell you how this is going to work today. So we're going to start out hearing from the chair of Boston 2026, Ron O'Hanley. And then Mike is going to come up and show a video, give a presentation, provide some information that I know you're all hungry to hear. And then I'll sit down with Tanisha and Mike, and we'll have a conversation. I'll ask some questions, and maybe we'll be able to squeeze in a few questions from you all as well. So let's get started, and please join me in welcoming Ron O'Hanley.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you all for being here. I do have a question, though, for those that really know their football, and I don't mean NFL. Is there a kickoff in soccer? I actually don't think so. There is a kickoff. Okay. All right. So we didn't have a faux pas at the beginning, Jim. So
Wouldn't be my first.
this is actually a really important moment for the Commonwealth. Those of you that understand the sport will understand that there is no more popular sport on the planet. It truly is the universal sport. And it's particularly important, and the reason why I and State Street got involved in this, why did we get involved? We are not sports marketers. If any of you know us, we don't really market any sports. We underwrite a few women's sports, but other than that, that's not a big deal for us. But it's because we are a global company, and this is a global event. And here in the Commonwealth, right, we are a Commonwealth of immigrants. We are all immigrants here, and I don't think there's a better region and a better city to be hosting this, because it really reflects about who we are and what we stand for. So you're going to hear a lot about it, but what you need to understand in terms of the scope and the magnitude of this, it's been compared to me like having a Super Bowl that extends for 45 days. And this kind of rolling set of games and matches. And so in terms of the complexity, it's big, and that's why we've got the big man Mike here in the role. But secondly, there is also a lot of opportunity. So I was really happy when Jim said that he was going to host this, and to be able to talk about how can you get involved? How should we be thinking about this longer term? So I'd urge you to listen to the presentations, but also think about this not just for what we need to execute over the next, 70 days to the first one, and then for the next 30 plus days after that, but what it can mean for the Commonwealth and for Boston afterwards. Because the way we've all been thinking about this is sports now is the great uniter. It's the great bringing together of communities. And we see it, those of you that are basketball fans. Any Duke fans here in the room, by the way? Well, that was something. Sports brings people together. And if you think about it, we are a great sports Commonwealth and a great sports city. But there's a lot of things that we don't have here, right? I'd like to see an NFL draft here. I'd like to see an NBA draft here. So part of this, in terms of figuring this out and doing it right, is to position the Commonwealth and the city to do more of these kinds of things. So the way I always say to our people, the way that we get more business is we execute really well on what we need to do now. And with that, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you're going to tell us how we're going to execute. So thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jim. It's interesting how curious people are about these events. I mean, there's a lot of big things that go on, biopharma and academia in Massachusetts, but for some reason, these draw a lot of attention. In Sydney, there was actually a sitcom called The Games, and in London, there was a similar one called 2012, because it draws together all of the things in humanity, this hotbed of humanity that happens, and this excitement of such a great event coming. My name is Mike Loynd, and I'm the CEO of Boston 26, the local host committee. Our mission really here is a host committee. We are here to coordinate and to communicate and to connect, and I hope that's what we're going to do today. Some of you may have had a chance to see the Brazil-France game. Some of you may have got a chance to attend it. And, some people have pointed to that as a rehearsal where, Boston really tests, their capability to host. But to be honest, we are great hosts. We're hosts, as in welcoming academia, in welcoming the medical community and the technical community. So what we're going to do this year really is what we always do. And we're going to do it well. And the world's going to love us for that, I think, as long as I don't mess up. And we're going to do it on the biggest stage imaginable. So today we're going to cover the high-level overview of the event itself, the scale, the schedule, what's happening here in Boston. We'll give you an idea of what to expect in terms of visitor volume and regional impact, and then we'll shift to the actionable stuff for each of the organizations. So for each of the businesses here, and how to manage the logistical challenges as well that will come with the event, and then we'll wrap up with the resources that will be available to you on our website and through us directly. So before I go any further, I want to show you. Sorry, I forgot I had to do this. I want to show you a little short video to give you a feel for the World Cup in Boston. I hope.
My name is Taylor Twellman. This is Boston. I've been here for 22 years, the all-time leading goal scorer for the New England Revolution. The fan base in Boston's very intelligent, and they hold you accountable, but you play for the city, and for the name on the front of the shirt, they'll love you forever.
That man cannot stop scoring, Taylor Twellman.
There's a real ownership and pride factor to everything and anything this city does. So if you're going to have a World Cup, if you're not in Boston, then I'd argue it's not a World Cup in the United States. I just think you hit so many different groups of people, the Irish, the Italians, the Portuguese, but also where Boston serves in our country and in our history. Paul Revere and the Boston Tea Party, you can go up and down the line of the historical moments of where the United States of America was born. Boston's got that. Boston is a small city, but a big town, so you can have a lot of fun very quickly. The first thing I would do is go to downtown Boston, do a duck tour, because you get a little taste of everything. Some of the best Italian food you will ever have will be in the North End. Boston taught me one thing. Adversity doesn't build character, it reveals character. And if you really think about that, adversity does reveal character, and this city has revealed my character to the highest it can. This is my city, this is my home, this is Boston.
And that's what we're going to feel like. We're going to feel like we're representing, like we have Boston on our jersey, right? And it's going to be quite a moment for us. The FIFA World Cup runs from June 11th through to July 19th. That's 39 days of matches across the United States. It's the largest World Cup ever. 48 nations from 5 continents, 104 matches. That's 62% larger than the event in Qatar. 16 cities across 3 countries, and Boston is one of them, one of 11 cities in the U.S. We'll host 7 matches through the tournament, a mix of group stage matches, as well as a round of 32 and a coveted quarterfinal. The draw has been very favorable to us, so we're getting some great elite teams: England, France, Norway, Scotland. Teams that the global relevance in the world sees as top 10 talent. Speaking of France, you might have heard that France will make Boston their home for the entire tournament. So we're privileged to have a top team here with us like France, and they'll be staying at the Four Seasons for the whole tournament, and they'll be training at Bentley College. Think about that, what that means to us. Billions of eyeballs watching every restaurant, every shop, every street corner that Mbappe and his teammates visit. That's the kind of exposure that you just can't get without a World Cup. And just as important for our community perspective, we have Haiti, Ghana, Morocco, France, all have significant diaspora communities right here in Greater Boston, and that creates real opportunity for local storytelling and community engagement. Group C and I, which feature some of the best talents across the competition, are hosted in Boston. That means that high interest, high viewership, and high energy will be here on a daily basis. Beyond the stadium, there's going to be a tremendous amount of activity in the city. The FIFA Fan Festival will set up in Boston City Hall Plaza starting in June. This will be the central hub for the celebration activity in the Commonwealth. Think big screens, live entertainment, food, and festival atmosphere. We'll have other regional celebrations that will be announced, and we'll have more details for you in the Fan Fest over the next week or two. For organizations interested in hosting their own community celebrations, information is available on our website, including links to public viewing license applications, which are managed by FIFA. We'll also have a fan walk across each of the match days, coordinated with the City of Boston. It'll give fans a way to celebrate their teams as they move through the city. So let's talk about what this means in practical terms. Thousands of international visitors will be projecting myriads of fans here in Boston over the course of the tournament. Over 5 billion viewers will be watching worldwide, and that's the largest sporting event in history. The exposure for Boston, for our restaurants, our shops, our culture, our skyline is enormous. And here's something that I really want you to take away. We don't just expect visitors to come, we expect them to come back. Whether you're a 5-star hotel or a food truck, the people who visit this summer will remember the hospitality that you provide. I have a very powerful friend who stops his limousine at the same hot dog stand in New York City for 40 years, every single trip. And that's the kind of loyalty that great hospitality creates at this scale. For small and local businesses, this means a surge in foot traffic and patronage, but it also means navigating language barriers and different cultural customs. Preparation is key, and we talk about how to get ready for this next. It's important to be realistic about the challenges alongside the opportunities. Hotels are already being booked up. Rental cars are at capacity and will not match the visitor demand, which means public transport is going to be the primary way international visitors move around the city. And on 7 match days, normal traffic patterns and commuter rail service will be impacted. We'll dig into that next. So the event is massive. The impacts are real. Now let's focus on how you can make the most of it. Think of it this way. When the Super Bowl comes to every city, it's not just the stadium. It's not just the official sponsors. Everyone finds a way to be part of the moment. Restaurants run specials. Hotel packages create experiences. Shops extend their hours. The whole city leans in. That's the mindset we need here, except that it isn't one weekend. It's 39 days. And it's not just one country watching, it's the entire world. The opportunity is there for every business in this room to build offers that connect to the tournament, to specific matches, to specific teams, and to be welcoming to the many languages and cultures that are coming to our city. I had the chance to meet with the Haitian ambassador about a month ago, and he gave me as a gift when I was leaving a bottle of Haitian rum. And as walking out of the hotel, I was stopped by another Haitian gentleman that we talked about for 15 minutes about that Haitian rum and the experiences he had with that Haitian rum. So what I'm saying here is that bottle of rum is the connection that you'll have with that community, that that Iraqi pastry. We just got the Iraqi team. The French cheese, whatever it is that breaks down that connection is going to be important for us. Let's talk about your workforce for a second. Sorry, I got to go back to that one. I won't. Oh, okay. If you're in hospitality, restaurants, hotels, retail, entertainment, now is the time to think about flexible scheduling, additional hires, and clear communications with your teams about what the tournament period will look like. For other local businesses, consider offering remote or hybrid options during the peak impact days. Flexible work hours will help your employees manage commute disruptions and keeping your operations running smoothly. In both cases, the common thread is communication. Talk to your teams early and often so everyone knows the plan. This is the golden window for marketing. Think about promoting extending hours, specials, bundle packages, and push those through social media, email, and in-store signage. Highlight fan-friendly experiences to attract foot traffic. If people are walking by your business on the way to a fan walk or heading from a fan festival, give them a reason to stop in. Train your staff on match schedules and key locations so they can answer questions confidently and the kind of hospitality that's going to go a long way. Using visible signage such as flags, team colors, welcome messages to signal your business as part of the celebration is going to be key. And where possible, offer basic multi-language support. A few phrases in French, Arabic, or Spanish can make a visitor's day. Remember, you can tie your promotions to specific matches, to specific teams, and to the culture they represent. That personal touch is what will make Boston such a unique place. On branding, it's important here that the use of the official FIFA branding logos, word marks, mascots, emblems, slogans is prohibited for commercial purposes unless you're in the authorized FIFA rights holders category. You can't use the FIFA World Cup logo, the trophy image, or any other official tournament marks in your advertising, but you can connect to the idea of the World Cup, and that's going to be key. We have clear branding guidelines that are going to be on our website, and we're also going to continue to communicate out to the business community creative ways that you can connect to the matches. It's daunting, but this is this is the world that we're in as a host of FIFA. As well, here's a quick summary of some of the practical actions you can take to capitalize on the event. Adjust your hours, adjust your staffing and your service models to match the flow of visitors. Tighten up your logistics and delivery operations so you're not caught off guard. Create some tournament-themed offers and experiences just to be sure to stay with the branding guidelines we've just discussed. Think about customer flow. Can you handle more volume? Do you need to rethink your layout or your queue management? Communicate your plans early to your customers, your employees, and your vendors. And above all, support your employees so they can deliver the best during this demanding period. Now let's shift gears and start to talk about transportation. This is one of the most important slides in the deck, so let me walk you through it carefully. 6 of the 7 matches in Boston occur on weekdays. Kickoff times fall between 3 o'clock and 7 p.m., right in the middle of peak commuting hours. Spectators are encouraged to arrive 3 or 4 hours early before kickoff, which means midday commutes will also be affected. The primary impact areas are South Station, the I-93-95 corridor between Boston and Foxborough, Logan Airport, and Amtrak Northeast Corridor stations. There'll be road closures around FIFA official hotels, the fan festival, fan walk routes, and the stadium area in Foxborough Route 1, I-495, and I-95. Will be a bit busier than normal. Jim was mentioning that during the DNC, I think it was, that there were a lot of cautions about staying out of Boston, which may or may not have been needed. And I think we're going to pay some close attention to that. We want the city to be active. We want it to be exciting. We don't want to, overestimate that concern. So we'll be working with the community over the next few months to make sure that we get that right sized and that Boston's, is energized at the same time. A few specifics on parking and rail. Parking at the stadium on match days will be limited and pre-sold. You won't be able to just show up and park. Even on non-match days, parking at Patriot Place will be different than usual, so plan ahead. The MBTA will run pre-ticketed trains from South Station to Foxborough on match days with capacity for 20,000 fans, and that's a notable increase in operations. So John from Keolis and our team we're excited about that challenge. The key message for your employees and customers would be to check the MBTA alerts early and often to match dates as they approach. The impacts extend across the other modes of transit, so bus service in downtown Boston and Foxborough may change on match days due to road closures. Subway services across downtown will be busier throughout the tournament. Riders should allow a little bit extra time. Ferry services will also see increased demand and possible schedule changes. Logan Airport will be in its busiest immediately before and after the matches, and ground transportation to and from the airport will be more congested than normal. The bottom line is that every part of our transport system will feel this, and advanced planning is essential. Well, the MBTA has done a huge amount of work for us on the planning, and we're very grateful for that work. The capacity to raise the capacity to handle 20,000 trains is really a challenge. They've done great with that. We've supplemented that with a Stadium Express bus program that's just launching. We'll have the capacity to move another 10,000 passengers on those buses going directly from hotels in the greater Boston region to the stadium and back. So we're very proud of the work that the transportation community has stepped up and done for us, and we're sure that it's going to be excellent. You can imagine, for example, that the congestion around the Foxborough Stadium, for example, that you'd have for a football game is going to be lower at a World Cup because we've moved so many people onto public transport. So I think we should think about the smart travel options for employees. We recommend the 5 Rs. So reduce non-essential trips during the period, relocate trips from impacted corridors, especially downtown Boston and I-93 and 95 corridor, reroute, find alternative paths to avoid the busiest areas, retime, move the trips off-peak time or non-match times, and remode. So that would be, in some cases, move off of the trains to other forms of transport. And your organization should build some form of this sort of plan. And if you take those R's into consideration, and we'll share this, I think you'll be in good shape. Safety and security is everyone's responsibility during the event in this scale, but I want to assure you that we have an incredible security team. It's made up of city, state, and federal agencies, and they've been planning for more than 2 years. The event is going to be very well protected. That said, every business has a role to play too. We're asking all businesses to review their emergency procedures with staff and make sure that exits and fire lanes are clear, and verify the contact information for key personnel. If you see something suspicious, report it promptly to local authorities. Encourage your employees to follow official public safety agencies on social media for real-time updates. You should expect an increased security presence, temporary road closures, and possible adjustments to transportation and delivery schedules. And remember, see something, say something. I can't say that enough, that the security organizations that we've been working with, over 30 security agencies have been working together with a security task force for 2 years. These are the best in the world, in my opinion, whether that be at the stadium or in any of the other large venues in Massachusetts. It's just an exemplary organization, and we're grateful for them. And you should consider yourself very safe. For businesses that rely on regular deliveries, and this is important, street access patterns will change during the tournament. Review those changes to your loading zones in your area and try to avoid deliveries on match days when possible. Shift delivery times and waste pickup to off-peak hours. Consolidate shipments. Double up on non-perishable deliveries ahead of match day so you're not scrambling. Make sure your vendors know about access changes well in advance, and share your plans internally with operations, facilities, and procurement teams. The businesses that plan ahead will come through this period very smoothly. Let's talk a little bit about the resources available for your businesses. So the Boston 26 website, bostonfwc26.com, is your go-to resource. It has the latest tournament-related information for businesses, fans, and residents. You'll find a business toolkit and a preparedness checklist, travel information, details on community celebrations and fan walks, and a submission form if your business wants to get involved in hospitality, event services, or logistics. Now, I want to be upfront. Boston 26 is a small nonprofit host committee. We're more of a coordinator than a delivery entity, and we have limited contracts to let, but we've made sure that we have a portal on our site that accepts the information from our local businesses here and then connects them to FIFA. We have a local Business Connect portal that's connected into FIFA that will allow the information coming from the local vendors to get to FIFA. And our website has all of these resources on them. I'd also encourage you to follow 26 on our social media to get ongoing information on the tournament and operational updates. And we'll be pushing that information out regularly as we get closer to June. So getting ready for the kickoff. Now's the time to act. The tournament is just weeks away, and the businesses that start planning today will be best positioned to manage the impacts and maximize their opportunities. 3 things you can do right now. Get involved. Visit the 26 website for details. Develop your own World Cup marketing and operations plan using the resources we've made available. And stay informed. Boston 26 on social media, and check the websites regularly for updates. I'll leave you with this. The people who visit Boston this summer, whether they're from Paris or Port-au-Prince or right here in New England, they're going to remember how we made them feel. And that's true whether they're running a 5-star hotel or whether you're running a food truck on the corner. Great hospitality creates customers for life. This is Boston's moment, and let's make sure we're ready for it. Thank you for your time here. It's been grateful. I'm grateful to the chamber and for all of you for being part of this effort. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug for our commercial efforts. We have some great donor and VIP packages available still. We'll get you the contact information for that. And, whoever you bring to these events, whether it's family, whether it's friends, or whether it's clients, this will be a lifelong memory for them. We hope you can experience that with us. We're almost there financially to put on a great event, and a little push from you wouldn't hurt right now. So if you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you, and please don't hesitate to reach out to Boston 26 website or to us directly. There's a lot going on, and we really want the business community to have these opportunities, and we're going to work hard with you. So I apologize, I'm not the best public speaker. I'm a pretty good event guy. Thank you.
I have a battery problem. Hello, hello. Okay, yeah. Hello, yeah. Right. You probably didn't want to hear me anyway. You want to hear from these guys. Right. Mike, looking forward to when you invite me to the opening of that Haitian rum bottle that you mentioned. Yeah, that'd be fun to do. Couple follow-up questions. And I know that you said there'd be some branding information on the website, but it's important, particularly for those who want to develop a marketing strategy that says, look, we're engaged and we've got these specials and so forth. The inclination would be to use, download one of those logos, make a placket and move on. Talk a little bit more about that. Does Boston 26 have a logo that people can use? What is that going to say that they can do to say, we've got this special, if you're here for the event, I've got a marketing plan, but I can't tell you what it's about. I mean, how can they? All right.
So I think I might start with a little background on that. So when you win a bid, you have to comply with FIFA's requirements around brand protection. And that's a very difficult thing for us. Even as a host committee, we don't have all of the brand rights that FIFA uses for their international sort of global sponsors. For example, Bank of America is a global sponsor, and they can use all of the FIFA's intellectual property, and they're positioned better than a local sponsor. Venetia is one of our wonderful local sponsors, but they're different levels of sponsorship. That leaves us with what we're constrained with. So we can't actually share our logos and our brand images to anyone under our constraints as a host committee. Now, what I suggest is there's still team uniforms, there's flags, there's I think match day, Super Bowl. What's Super Bowl? What's the Super Bowl special now? Can we really use World Cup? I mean, I'd be told no, but are you going to make a special sandwich for the French team, or a special drink for the Haitian team? I don't know why I keep saying that, but
you got the rum. That's why you keep saying it.
God bless him. So for me, I think it's how do you get creative with hooking into the tournament, to the cities, to the teams, to the players, and how do you get those messages out there? So we are still going to work on how to creatively sort of take advantage of the tournament, and we'll be continuing. And I'm looking at Reed, who works specifically on that. We're going to look at how we then, allow or help local businesses, create those promotions.
So I do. And to what Mike is saying, I think it's important to think about what we can do. right? And both of you talked about the experiences that people have. What we know is that this is a significant moment for our city, but it is also a major global sporting event. And the reality is we don't have to say World Cup or FIFA in order to have wonderful, exciting watch parties and viewing opportunities in our communities, right? And so I think it is about, really thinking about how are we going to talk about a match? We're gonna talk about come see Scotland v Haiti, right? We're gonna talk about come watch the Norway match. The communities that we all live in, that we all work in, are connected to the sport. And so it's not about being able to say FIFA or being able to say World Cup. It's about let's come together for a joint experience, a collective experience. That's what's going to matter in our communities. That's what's going to leave the positive historic memories for this moment.
So one dimension that you talked about is how businesses develop their marketing strategy, use social media, develop specials, look at the teams that are here, and be proactive. I'm wondering. I know that Boston 2026 or FIFA will give those instructions about brand, but are there any other resources available as people are developing those plans?
Sure. Well, we do have a toolkit on the website that we've developed that you can download and look at. So that's probably our first, port of call on trying to develop your marketing plans. And I think really brainstorming what we do have in an abundance of in Massachusetts is really bright people. So I would say, for each business, it's going to be a slightly different angle. A sub shop versus a 5-star hotel versus some other sort of a business. And so I do think that you really need to sort of digest the teams, digest the schedule, understand how that plays out over the time, and we'll help with our toolkit and with other things that are coming out over the next month. But that's what I would suggest, really.
Website. Keep checking it. It sounds like is a key piece of it.
That's correct.
Okay. So let's shift. You gave some good advice to businesses, their employees, people that want to continue to conduct business and commerce, both in terms of the employees and the staff, and actually, making sure their supply chains are still stocked. Tanisha, Santa Fe's a big business. You have a workforce, prominent. How are those conversations taking place within your organization as it relates to, look, there's 7 days or a period of about 40 days that there's going to be a lot of activity. How's your business thinking about that?
So first, thank you, Jim, because again, this is a major moment for us. It could be an inflection point. I mean, Ron talked about what comes next in the legacy piece of it. And my recollection is that in all the moments that matter, you're here convening us. So thank you for that. So for us as an organization, we're really thinking about this moment as one to affirm that we are neighbor. Santa Fe, yes, we're a global company based in France, but we have deep DNA here in this ecosystem by way of Genzyme, which we acquired in 2011. We have nearly 5,000 employees here across the Commonwealth, 2.3 million square feet we occupy. And so the economic growth of this Commonwealth is important to us because it's important to our people. It's important to us from a talent pipeline standpoint. And so first, we start with what are the experiences we want our employees to have through this event. We want them to be part of this historic moment. I think it's also important to remember this is America 250. We are celebrating our semi-quincentennial. And so, how do we want to show up in this moment? And when we think about that, we reflect on the values of this country. What are the things, the positive things that makes our country strong? One is volunteerism. And so we have, as an organization, not just related to the World Cup, but with all of our engagements around the 250, including the World Cup, really centered volunteerism and leveraging this as an opportunity to foster a culture of volunteerism that will last long beyond this moment. The second is when we think about what makes this country hum, it is small businesses. It is Main Street. And so for us, we're being very intentional in how we are engaging small and local businesses, Main Street, local businesses, in all that we're doing this year, including with the World Cup. I'm really excited. We'll be working with Rosemark this year to support many of our efforts related to our preparations for the World Cup. And so it's neighbor for us. It's about how we're contributing to the long-term growth of this Commonwealth. But then the last piece is I get asked often, why did we decide to support the World Cup? Just for some context, Sanofi was a leading sponsor for Paris 24. We also have an ongoing relationship with McLaren and F1. We really do see a lot of synergy between science, sport, and innovation. And so for us, this is also about values alignment from a corporate standpoint. So we are looking forward to this year. We're looking forward to our employees having a positive experience, but also working to ensure that our communities collectively all have positive historic memories from this moment.
So in addition to the preparations around the logistics, maybe making sure that your supply chains are stocked the way they need to be. Thinking about strategies for the ways your employees can engage, even if they're not going to the games, but being part of the entire experience is what I'm hearing, is the three dimensions of
it is
this.
And so thank you for that, because the one piece that I did not share is, as an organization, from a leadership standpoint, we've talked a lot about, again, making sure that this is an inclusive experience for all of our employees. Not everyone is going to a match, right? But we do want to make sure that everyone feels connected to and is connected to this moment. And so we are internally hosting opportunities for folks to view matches, whether they're here in Boston or otherwise. But we are also supporting viewing parties in other parts of the Commonwealth. We have a large footprint in Cambridge. We've got a large footprint in Framingham. And so really looking at this through a community lens to see how we can support and make sure that our communities, also that folks in our communities also have the opportunity to enjoy this experience through a collective experience.
Yeah, so the fourth dimension for larger businesses is engaging with their local community wherever they happen to be located. I love that idea. Does this mean that you're going to be cheering for the French team?
It is America. It is America 250.
All right, so we talked about, developing marketing strategies, taking advantage. We talked about sort of how businesses can logistically get prepared. There's a lot of interest in how can I have a product, I have a service that I want to be part of that I think is valuable. I think you're going to need small businesses that want to be part of that legacy. I mean, get a piece of that, particularly, in diverse communities. I see my friend Nicole Obie over there who represents diverse small businesses in the region. You mentioned you don't let the contracts in your presentation. How does someone that says, you know what, I think I have something that is going to be a product or service they should use, how do they get in the game?
Sure. So we have a link on our website to the local impact supplier program. which is very similar to the Super Bowl has a similar one, which sort of collects this information and then connects that to FIFA, which is primarily the letter of the contract. So, for example, in the stadium, all the stadium adaptations and those works are done via the FIFA. We do have some contracts that happen at FIFA Fan Festival, for example. So those we would vet through the same portal, which we've done, and we're very excited to to have awarded a couple of those contracts. We have one that we hope to announce in the next week that that would be a very great local diverse business that we hope to announce. So we are collecting those. We are making those connections. We are letting contracts, I think, with an intention to do the right thing locally as well. And we are communicating to FIFA. Now, if it doesn't help us now, but those same registrations will be kept live going forward to other events. So let's say we host the Women's World Cup, or as Ron mentioned, someday we have a draft here. That same database will start to build. Other cities have existing sports commissions that have persisted over years and have built those lists. We don't have that. We want to do that, and that's one of our legacy items that we hope to do. So again, I think we're doing what we can to pull that information and to communicate it to the people that do let most of the contracts. And I think we've been very intentional about what we've awarded.
So get into the portal. You're playing more of a conduit role. It
That's
sounds
correct.
like, based on what information is provided, what type of service to the appropriate contract letting agent,
That's
and then Mother Nature takes its course, I guess.
Well, yeah, I
right?
mean, we can do the best we can with that,
Yeah.
but the connections to FIFA and also to the local and international sponsors that might take up our supporters,
Yeah.
may, for example, need a transportation company. So that information is communicated.
Yeah. So, Tanisha, you were one of the leaders in bringing and executing the NAACP convention that came here. You and I collaborated quite a bit on that and developed some intentionality around this issue of, economic inclusion in the event itself. Talk about some of the strategies for doing that.
I think one is, I might need to take that mic from you. Okay. Now she's funny. Okay, there we go. So one, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said intentionality, right? The screen up there was a figure, and you've heard it, I'm sure. This event has the potential to have a $1 billion impact. Okay, that's not all in one fell swoop. That is like over time, and so intentionality matters. And one of the things that we were very focused on with the NAACP convention was ensuring that we were intentional around our inclusion strategy, intentional about, yes, having convenings like this one at the chamber that included and was really targeted toward like our larger businesses within the community, but also being very intentional about our outreach within neighborhoods to ensure that local businesses, again, small Main Street businesses, also understood where the opportunities were and also understood that we wanted them to be included. We've got to do that with this as well. And so to that end, I will share that we are planning on April 13th, working with Josiane Martinez, who, of course, is CEO of Archipelago Strategies, the chair of the Governor's Advisory Council for Latino Empowerment, along with myself, chair of the Governor's Advisory Council on Black Empowerment, to ensure that we are reaching all communities, right? So being intentional. The second is, I think I'm going to go back to what I said about, the reality is the majority of Bay Staters will not be at Gillette Stadium, to be known as Boston Stadium. The majority of us are going to enjoy this experience in our backyards, in our local communities. And so I think the other piece is being intentional about communicating to folks around how they do that. And encouraging people to and organizations to collaborate. Think about, for example, if you're in Roxbury, thinking about, a local football club collaborating with District 7 Tavern, right? D7. Think about how we can be intentional about those relationships. Or if you're out in Springfield, doing the same. So intentionality is key here. We cannot leave the power, especially the economic power and opportunity of this moment to chance. We have to seize it, and we have to really look for those opportunities to come together, to collaborate, and ensure that we're all included.
So we're winding down on time here, but maybe I can squeeze in one or two questions if there's any burning questions. Sure. Vivian.
Talk about South Station, but as you know, many of the hotels are by Back Bay. Will the trains also stop in Back Bay Station, or is it going directly from South Station to Foxborough?
I'll double check, but I think it's directly from South Station to Foxborough. Yep, I just, yes.
Any other quick questions right back here? We're going to use the,
You talk, yeah.
Yeah.
give it a go.
Check. Okay. We understand you've had some challenges, fundraising, private fundraising, and finding corporate sponsors. Can you discuss a bit about why that is? And if you've had lower than expected fundraising, are you planning to scale back any like Fan Fest or any other fan related activities?
Sure. Well, this is running one of these events, and I've done a few, is like landing a plane, to be honest. And so, you've got your revenue streams and you've got your operation, and you have to match those, right? And our intention is to land at zero and not leave any, sort of remaining debt, and be fiscally responsible, delivering something that's like a great event for Massachusetts, for the city, without, a heavy burden. So yes, fundraising has been a challenge. I think the overall 250th 2026 event cycle has put a lot of demands on fundraising in the corporate environment. We have some great supporters, Santa Fe, Tanisha, thank you very much. Some great supporters locally that have helped us and have stood up for the community and for Massachusetts. But yes, I think certainly our goal is, I think, a great fan festival in the city of Boston, great transportation, great, brilliant basics, and a wonderful business community that welcomes the fans. So I think we're going to achieve that. I know we're going to achieve that, to be honest. But yeah, do we have early aspirations for maybe sort of a larger fan fest? Yes, to be honest, and larger sort of regional events. But I think we're going to land at a very fiscally responsible, very exciting event for Massachusetts and Boston.
Okay, maybe one more if there's one back over here.
Thank you. There's been a question around, the small businesses are filling out the form, and many feel like there's a black hole. So curious if there's going to be more of public sharing of what the vendor opportunities are for businesses to engage with either the committee, the matches, the watch parties, even the host teams. And then also on the flip side, we're a city of immigrants. So in what way is there kind of security being provided in the event that there's a surge here, and residents who are immigrants, who are Black, who are Latino, who are players for the French team are profiled also?
Okay.
The portal.
Right. So first with the portal, the portal is being watched. I think we could be a little bit more transparent about that, sort of that wiring into FIFA and the likes, in which I'd be happy to sort of respond to. So how, who is being communicated from the portal entries. So I think we can do that. I can't really drive organizations other than Boston 26 to procure from that list. But we have intentionally communicated it, and I'd be very happy. Look me up right after this, and we'll share some information on that. Secondly, when it comes to Boston 26, we have a procurement process that we put in place, and we've announced all of our major procurements, through our website. We can share those with you as well, so that you can see what's available. Again, as I've said before, we don't, as a host committee, let a lot of contracts. I mean, maybe there's 5 or 6 major contracts, and we can talk through those. Happy to do that, and also happy to sort of open that up for conversation after.
Yeah. I'll take a stab at some of the security questions because I know it's top of mind, but I do know that coming out of 9/11 and later the Boston Marathon bombing, there is a degree of law enforcement agency at the municipal, state, and federal levels that I would, in Boston and Massachusetts, that I would stack up against any place. I've personally observed it and been involved in it. The way that they are monitoring traffic on social media and in the dark web and so forth is incredible. The people are just very smart, technical people that are looking at things. And I do think, and my observation is that while there may be political noise going on up above, there's a lot of coordination going on amongst the federal and state and city agencies to deal with the very question that you're asking. I don't think you're going to see any big public pronouncements to that effect. But just in my experience, that group, and if I had time, I'd tell you a very personal story about how that coordination benefited us when I was running the convention center, and there was a threat they found on the dark web that they headed off. So it's a great question, and I know it's on people's minds, but I'd say I'd match up our coordination with anybody. So we're going to call it, end it there. And I would say a couple of takeaways that I have from this conversation. I know that there's a hunger for information. I think this and other activities over the past couple of weeks have marked the beginning of a greater flow of that information. Mike mentioned, keep an eye on that website. It's being constantly updated, whether it's the portal to sign up or information about transportation and so forth. Keep an eye on that if you're interested in some dimension of what this is all about. A second takeaway is that, while there is information and other resources that Boston 2026 is making available, and to some extent FIFA, to leverage and maximize the value of this falls upon us. It falls upon those of us who want to do something like Santa Fe is doing in their local communities. It falls upon the small businesses that want to create a marketing program and a strategy to have specials or whatever they want to do. So while there may be some resources available, what this is creating is an opportunity. So I'd say, while yes, look to government, look to these organizations for aid, for information, for help, for ways to get involved in the contracting. Whether you're a big business or small business, take a step back and say, what should I be doing in this moment? Mike gave some good advice along those lines, but I think that's the ability to seize the opportunity lies in us deciding, what do we want to do with this? It's a big opportunity, and I'm fired up about it. So Mike, Tanisha, Ron, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Go USA.